Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Gran Torino, starring and directed and produced by Clint Eastwood. Now, I remember going to theaters for this thing when it was on limited release, and I remember something about racism about this movie, but I've seen it a lot of times since, but overall, let's see about how this movie lives up to me. At a funeral of his widowed wife, Walt Kowalski, played by Clint Eastwood, is a dying man who's not only a horrible person, but a racist. Like, he won't confess what the priest says, he won't let anyone help him, not even his neighbors nor his family members, as they don't like him. The priest, Father Yanovich, I don't know if I'm saying that right, please forgive me, promises his widow Dorothy to keep a sharp eye on her widow as we know Walt from the first 10 minutes of the movie, which is good filmmaking by Clint Eastwood. Walt's neighbor Tao is criticized for not being the man of the house as he's picked up by Walt, the family he lives with, and some Mexican gangsters, while he's walking on his own until gangster cousin Spider bails him out from death, and his sister Sue, as Spider wants Tao to chill with them and to steal Walt's 1972 Gran Torino, and to these characters comes off very unlikable, but they'll grow on me a little later, which is the best thing about the story. And Clint Eastwood does a fantastic job with telling the story as his character learns not to be a racist later on, as Eastwood pulls it off very well. Walt sees Tao trying to steal the Gran Torino and points the gun at Tao as he falls down and Tao runs out safely. As the next morning, his son calls him to ask about the season Lions tickets, which makes me think it's baseball. As I'm not an expert on baseball, but that was a funny piece of dialogue. Spider comes to Tao's house to make him go another round at stealing cars as a fight goes on and disturbs the neighborhood until Walt comes out to point the gun at the gangsters and saves Tao's life. As the next day, all the neighbors give him gifts as he doesn't want them, and Father Yanovich comes to Walt's place as he asks why he didn't call the police. And I like the dialogue as there were times it was pretty damn funny in an inappropriate kind of way, let's say. Sue hangs around with a friend as they're walking and get picked on by some African American gangster men, and Walt watches and saves Sue from the African American gangsters as he points his finger at first and tells Sue to get in the truck, but they won't let her until he gets a gun and points it at them as they don't want to fuck with him, and tells off her friend. And in my opinion, this is the best scene in the movie as he saves Sue's life and gives her a ride, and I like the dialogue between them. It's racial, but it works for the movie. Walt witnesses some kids not helping a lady across the street with her groceries, and Tao comes in by to help as it's his birthday that day. His son and his wife go to his place for his birthday, and they give him flyers for a group home for the elderly, and Walt kicks them out because of the flyers, which is true in life, but it's executed very good to life. Sue invites Walt to go to their place for a barbecue, and he comes by and greets them as he touches a kid's head and says, "What are all you fish heads looking at, anyways?" Well, which is racist for sure, but I can't help but laugh as the way he delivers the line was rather funny. But I'm liking this movie for the relationship between Walt and his neighbors, although it can be racist sometimes. I will admit it. I'm not a racist, but it tells us such a great story. Walt coughs up blood, which he will be doing for about half the movie, and gets some food and goes downstairs to see Tao is in the basement and sees him with Yao Yo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Yao Yo. I don't know. Help me out with these names. As she talks with Walt, and Walt insults him as he calls Tao, as he tells Tao he's blowing it with Young or Yoa, whatever the hell her name is. I can't even say it right. As she likes Tao, which is pretty obvious, but Tao's actor does a good job, which is playing a shy person who's afraid of talking with Walt, who constantly insults him. And as for Sue, I like the actress playing her, as she does some great work here too. Tao is forced to work for Walt as he'll take the insults and racism. Walt says to him and decides to help Walt fix some things like a neighbor's roof, paints a house, forces a tree out of the ground, and the relationship grows on me between Walt and Tao, as it's a wonderful relationship at the end of the day. Walt goes to a doctor's appointment as he learns he's dying from coughing blood that the audience has been seeing during the movie, and continues to work at Tao's house as they get some tools to fix the faucet and the fan, move a freezer, and clean the Gran Torino. As the movie is well shot, Tao thinks about getting into sales and wants to go to school, as he thinks about getting a job at construction. And they start off at a barber shop as he's learning how men talk to one another with Martin, the barber, I'll say. And that scene was actually funny to me, and all the lines are pretty funny to me. Walt talks Tao to a job interview for construction from a friend of his named Tim Kennedy, and then he gets the job as they go to the hardware store, which are well done scenes. Spider comes to Tao with his gangster friends to beat his ass and burn his face with a cigarette. Ooh, that was painful. Which is a painful scene, but Walt wants to fight back with Spider's gang by beating one guy up and says, "Leave Tao alone, because if he had to come back to the house, it'll get fucking ugly," which is what Walt says, which is pretty damn violent, as the next day they have a barbecue, and at nighttime at their house gets shot up by Spider's gang as Walt goes by the house to check up on them when Sue comes home with a beat up face. Oh man, I don't know if I can handle this scene. And Walt beats up on himself, which is a sad sequence, but I'm liking the movie for the relationships in Walt with his neighbors. It's just, that scene was just, oh my god, it was so brutal, let's say is the word. Father J comes by the house as he works for the gang that involves Spider, and they're unfortunately not talking to confess as the priest drinks a beer, and that's not what a priest is supposed to do in general, as Walt tells him to call him Walt, as Tao wants vengeance on his gangster cousin. And Walt tells him to remain calm and to come by his place at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to plan out how to kill Spider, and at night goes to Father J in church to confess how much of a bad person he is, and Father J thinks about what Walt is going to do to them motherfuckers, and he's going to the house with the cops, so Walt won't pull anything stupid off, as he says the Lord's name in vain, which pretty much makes him a terrible priest, in my opinion, I'll say. Walt locks up Tao in the basement and leaves his dog Daisy at the porch of the neighbor's place, and Sue gets a call from Walt and tells her to let Tao out, and does so while Walt comes by Spider's place and gets a cigarette and pulls the hand trick. As they shoot him down, they shoot an unarmed man down to the ground, and the cops come by the police to collect Walt's body and arrest Spider and his gang and get locked up forever. And as Walt's funeral begins, Father J confesses Walt was right about what he said about what he didn't know about life or death, and the will for the car goes to Tao as he drives with Daisy in the car. And the climax was a strong way to start from racist to a good man at the end of the day. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 8.6 out of 10. The performances by the actors are very good, as Clint Eastwood does a tremendous job portraying a racist. The movie is well shot and very well made, as the cinematography was nice to look at and the story was magnificent. At the end of the day, it'll stay with me as a very nice movie, as it starts off pretty mean, but the relationship grows on me as it's tremendously done. So thank you guys for joining me for this review, and until then, get off my lawn.